There's a new motion in court to free Lamar Johnson. He's been the focus of numerous KCTV5 investigations. Lamar swears he is not guilty of murder, and the real killers agree. But he's still in prison because of legal technicalities. So today, Missouri Governor Mike Parson signed a bill that gives prosecutors the power to bring cases like Lamar's back to court. But his lawyers are exploring all options. KCTV5 investigative reporter Angie Racono explains why.
This case stretches back to 1994. Lamar Johnson has been in prison for 26 years, watching history roll by. Some sad moments, some happy moments. When you stop and think about it, that's 5 different presidents. His lawyers say he has a clear case of innocence and a judge needs to free him.
This is it, that I just have to stay in prison despite what's been found? How is that justice? It should never be a situation where you don't have a remedy. I don't know.
This is Lamar Johnson back in 2019. Baffled he was sitting in prison. Truth be told, we were baffled too.
God has another plan for me. It's got to have a different purpose for me than to die here.
This is a case that will test faith. Lamar Johnson was convicted of murdering a friend, but he had an alibi.
And I just kept saying, I didn't do it, this is where I was.
Johnson thought if he cooperated with police, things would get sorted out. He's now sat in prisons for 26 years. Johnson was largely convicted based on an eyewitness who didn't know him, but somehow identified him as the masked killer running in the dark.
You could see there's nothing that distinct about my eyes.
St. Louis District Attorney Kim Gardner took an independent look at the case. She discovered the main witness who testified was paid in exchange for testimony. She released a 70-page report calling it an unconstitutional police investigation, which included the term prosecutorial misconduct. She ends her summary flat out calling what happened as Johnson's wrongful conviction. It's something prosecutors and courts could have rectified decades earlier. You see, the real gunman confessed and cleared Johnson in this letter before he was even sentenced to life without parole. It opens with, Lamar, that's up you got convicted when you didn't do a thing.
He says who did it, why they did it, how it happened.
No one cared to listen, and that's the way it's been decade after decade. Over the years, courts ruled Kim Gardner didn't have the power to right this wrong. No one even argues Lamar Johnson is actually guilty. He's a prisoner of legal circumstances. That now changes with Parson's signature of a new bill. Prosecutors can now bring old cases back to court. It's Missouri law. So it's possible Kim Gardner could petition the court under a new set of circumstances. But the Midwest Innocence Project has already filed a petition calling for his release.
This is a solved crime. The 2 actual perpetrators have confessed. They've come forward. They've talked exactly about how this crime occurred. And it was impossible for Lamar to have committed it.
Lamar's legal team has been fighting for years, pointing out the obvious flaws in this case and the fact that Lamar had an alibi.
There's no question that he's innocent and he needs to come home.
We've kept in touch with Lamar over the years through emails. Sometimes it's quick phone calls and we pull over. He says the last few years have tested his faith.
I don't know what more it's going to take. And so that's what's most frustrating because I don't know what else to do.
We'll keep you posted on Lamar's case. Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.